listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works. A business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I'm Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is a standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Today, I want to talk about how to shoot your shot because I posted a carousel on Instagram and the amount of questions I got told me I need to do an episode on this. But before we get into the strategy side, I want to start off with the truth. I didn't get here by accident. I started shooting my shot because I was lost. After I spoke at the Rich Girl Cult event in New York in August, I came home and I felt completely lost. I didn't know what space I belonged in. The online world just didn't feel like it was it. I felt disconnected, confused, and honestly a little embarrassed that I couldn't articulate what my thing was anymore. I even started calling myself a profit coach at some point because I was shrinking myself into fitting into spaces I had no business trying to fit into. And then I walked into that room with the Hermosis in September, real financial advisors, real operators, real experts, real people that have built businesses and exited them. In that moment, I remembered who I was and who I was building myself into. Someone who understands numbers at a depth that most coaches don't. Someone who was meant to operate at a higher level. Now, coming back from Vegas, I finally gave myself the space to ask, what do I want to build? What am I actually building? Who am I when I'm not trying to fit into this online coaching aesthetic? And the answer surprised me, but it also didn't. I've loved entrepreneurship since I was a kid. I've watched every single Dragon's Den episode and Shark Tank episodes. And when I looked at why I love those shows, it just really clicked for me. It's all about real founders, real businesses, people who have been building their business for 5, 10, 15 years plus, not hopping from trend to trend, but really building businesses offline that they were super passionate about. Founders that are passionate, gritty, obsessed, and honestly, a lot of them need help with their numbers, their margins, and their financial structure. And that is where I feel like I come alive because I love the number side of like building strategy, cash flow, profitability, finding the leaks. Like I love that kind of stuff. Around that same time, I had my PR strategy meeting with Katrina, and the question she asked me forced me to zoom way out. Where am I going? What impact do I want to have? If money was not involved, what would I be doing? What do I feel so passionate about? What rooms do I want to be in? I got so much clarity from that session, and then 2 days later, I saw a post about the Dragon's Den 20th anniversary event in Calgary. Like, what are the chances? Talk about alignment. Talk about a sign from the universe. I was really hoping that they'd have an event in Vancouver, But unfortunately, there wasn't. So I had the choice. Either I fly out to Calgary for the day or not go and miss my opportunity. I decided to book that flight and I went anyways. I bought some mics from Amazon. I took them and I was like, I just want to interview founders. I just want to learn more about their stories, how they got here, why they pitched on Dragon's Den. Like, I was just so curious. And I took my tripod. I interviewed a bunch of different founders, and everyone was so nice. They wanted to share their story, they wanted to share their struggles, what they're working on, so they can help other entrepreneurs going through the same boat. And that trip changed everything for me. The second I got back home, I started emailing season 20 founders. Krista from DBL Designs was my first yes. Jamie from Black Harbor Distillers was my second. Before I went on the trip, I even emailed the CBC Dragon's Den producers just to get on their radar. Was hoping I'd be able to connect with them before the event. I even emailed Mark Cuban. I did all of this in October. That momentum was so unreal. Coming back from Calgary, I was super fired up. I decided to completely take the Thanksgiving weekend off from my business. Usually I cannot take a day off. I'm usually doing something, either creating content, doing the podcast, working on client stuff, emails. Like, there's always something I could be doing. But I was just super tired from the event. I had a lot going on personally. And I was just like, I just need to disconnect for these 3 days. Well, I took that break and I kept seeing this Ayesha Curry clip from Call Her Daddy come up. And I'm like a huge like Steph Curry. I've been following him, his work. I've seen like Ayesha on Instagram as well. So I was like, I just need to listen to this episode. And then I fell down the rabbit hole. Call Her Daddy, Diary of a CEO. And I had this moment where everything just clicked. Her Profit Era wasn't just a podcast. It was the next chapter of my life. A chapter where I talked to real founders, millionaires, billionaires, operators, people who have built real businesses, have exited their businesses. They're at like $100 million plus. People no one in my world has had access to. I haven't had access to them either. And when I look back now, shooting my shot didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't random, but it was a response to losing my excitement, a response to feeling like I didn't fit into the online space I kept trying to force myself into, a response to being in rooms that looked good on Instagram but felt shallow in real life. It was a response to craving deeper conversations, wanting to be around real founders, real builders, and real operators. People who weren't just selling aesthetics, people who were actually running real businesses. I wanted to be legit. I wanted growth. I wanted to learn from the people who had built things that last and have sold them. And that was the moment everything changed for me. That was the moment I really started shooting my shot. Once I realized I wanted to be around real founders, real operators, real builders, I started acting like it. And here's the truth. I didn't tiptoe. I went all in. When I was in Calgary and I came back and started posting my clips with the different founders I spoke to, I started taking CBC Dragons, founders in the show, the producers, everyone in my videos. Not in a cringy way, in a genuine, respectful, I love your work and here's why way. I've had the Dragons repost my stories. I've had sharks, even Mark Cuban, Robert Herjavec, they've reposted my stories. I even had CBC Dragon repost my story this week. And it just works. People notice. I followed up with the producer of the show once I got back, and she was like, yes, let's get on a call. We had like the best conversation. And then I learned she's also from Abbotsford. Like, what are the chances? That conversation lit something in me, hearing that the work I'm doing is incredible. I need to just keep doing it. Was really just confirming from the universe that I'm on the right track. So I have kept going. I emailed more founders from Reagan's End. I sent a DM to Trent, the founder of Saks, expecting nothing. And this week, he replied to my DM, sent me his email address so I could connect with him and his team to see if I'm able to get him on a podcast episode. And he wasn't just polite, he was actually very genuine in his message. I reached out to Nishal from No Days Wasted. He replied too. And through Trent's Instagram page, I discovered the LOY community, a legit founders network where people like the founder of Hootsuite are involved. They have an event coming up called the Anti-Gala where Tara from Smart Suites and other insane founders are all going to be in the same room. Like, why would I not go to that or try to get involved in stuff like that? It felt like doors were just opening everywhere. Like the universe was saying, I've been waiting for you to get into alignment. And now I want to talk about when I am receiving these messages and all these things are happening. I'm not like in shock anymore because I feel like my nervous system is regulated. I've become this like new version of me where I already know these things are going to happen for me. So it's all about building confidence and making sure your nervous system can handle it. But I want you to know I wasn't just reaching out for the sake of reaching out. I wasn't chasing clout. I'm not doing this for optics, for likes, for followers, for engagement. Like, I was just reaching out because I'm genuinely curious. I want to learn. I want to hear people's stories. I want to understand how they built things that have lasted, how they exited, what they're focusing on now. And when your intentions are pure, people feel that. Even on LinkedIn this week, I had someone reach out to me who's a district manager at ADP, a former NFL player. Went to Cincinnati, knows Travis and Jason Kelsey. And I'm like, how is this my life right now? I'm 1 degree of separation from Taylor Swift. Like, how? But it's because I'm so aligned that doors are opening for me, people are connecting with me, I'm building a new network and relationship. And alignment creates momentum. And now I want to teach you how you can also shoot your shot without overthinking it, without feeling cringe, and without waiting for permission. So here's how to shoot your shot in a way that actually works. It's everything I have been doing. So step 1 is get clear on why you're reaching out. So before you message anyone for the sake of messaging them, ask yourself one thing. Why am I reaching out to them? If the answer is for clout, to be seen, to get followers, to look connected, to prove something, I want you to stop. People can sense that energy from a mile away. Reach out because you're genuinely curious. Reach out because you admire them. Reach out because you just want to learn. You want to be part of their network, their community. That is the energy that opens doors. Now, step 2, start with the micro connection, not a pitch. So you don't shoot your shot by sending your whole life story in the message. Start off small. Here are some examples. Reply to a story they posted. Comment on something meaningful. Share their work with a thoughtful no. Take them in something relevant. Micro connections build trust, and trust builds access. Now, step 3, craft the DM or email that gets a reply. When you finally DM them or send an email, keep it short, specific, and respectful. Now, here's the formula. Number 1, what do you admire about them? Step 2, why it matters to you. Step 3, a clear, simple ask, and that's it. When I'm emailing these people, I have watched their pitches on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den. I follow them on Instagram. I can see what they're doing, what's going on, and I email about that. For example, I emailed someone and she runs a scrunchie business. She's been dealing with the US tariffs, the impact on shipping her scrunchies to the US. She just had a warehouse sale. So when I emailed her, I brought up all those kind of things just to connect with her as a person before I asked if she would be interested in being a podcast guest. So people with big platforms have no time for paragraphs. Keep it simple and keep it clean. Now, step 4 is follow up. This is where most people fail. They take silence personally. But here's the truth. Busy founders, busy people don't respond because they forget. They miss it. The timing is bad. They're traveling. They have 700 unread DMs. Not because they don't like you, so don't take it personally. Follow up once every 7 to 10 days. Short, kind, direct, no anxiety, no overthinking. Now, with the Dragon's Den producer, I had to do a bunch of follow-ups before she said yes and replied to getting on a call. So just understand, don't take it personally. You're just shooting your shot. So you following up just shows that you're persistent. So no anxiety, no overthinking. Here's a follow-up example. Hey, not sure if you saw this, would still love to connect whenever the timing allows. Step 5, lead with value, not ego. So when you do get a response, don't make it about you. Lead with curiosity. I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to learn about your journey. I'm fascinated by how you built XYZ. People never forget someone who generally wants to know about them or wants to learn their story. Now, step 6, move fast when the doors open. So when someone says yes, go. Don't wait days, over prepare, get in your head, just move. Book the call, book the flight, record the interview, send the questions. Follow up fast. Momentum is a window and it closes if you hesitate. So for example, when I send out emails to be guests on her Profit Era, as soon as I hear yes, I'm already drafting up questions, sending them to the person saying, this is the idea I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts if you're okay with me asking these kind of questions, or if there's something, a different angle you want to talk about, let me know. It shows a person that I'm prepared, I'm fully interested and invested into booking things right away. Step 7, keep your energy clean. This is a secret most people miss. The reasons doors keep opening for you is because your intentions are pure. You're genuinely curious. You're not asking for anything. You don't need their validation. You're not pretending to be someone else. People respond to authentic people more than perfection and clout. And that is why this works. Step 8, alignment over attachment. Now, not everyone will reply. Not everyone will see your message. Not everyone is meant to be in your story, and that is okay. Your job is to stay aligned, not attached. Now, when your energy is clean, doors open. When you chase, everything closes. Now, for example, with Mark Cuban, he replies saying he's swamped. I didn't take that personally, but I'm going to email him again. In December, he's doing a fireside chat with one of the LOI founders, and I signed up for that. And I know right after that conversation, based on key takeaways I had, I'm going to email Mark Cuban again. And it's just a matter of time until he says yes. Even a 10-minute conversation, like that's a win. So step 9, keep going until it's normal. At first, shooting your shot feels scary, I'm not gonna lie. But then it becomes normal. It teaches you how to think bigger. Like, there's bigger people than Mark Cuban out there. So now I'm just building up the confidence, doing my research on who else I want to interview, who else do I want to connect with. It becomes your standard. This is how you build a network, one genuine connection at a time. It takes time. Shooting your shot from a place of curiosity and not desperation. That's the difference between ignored messages and invitations that change your life. One message can change your life, and the only difference between you and the person who gets the opportunity is that they actually hit send. Now let that sink in. If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at @CindyKamar and I'll send over all the details.